Right on schedule, the building contractors undertaking the refurbishment work on the marine lake started work straight after Easter. Their first task was to establish a construction site in the corner of the Salthouse Field, right next door to the Mugger and the skate park. They also started building a roadway surfaced with quarry waste, commonly known as sculpings, to give the heavy-duty vehicles access to the site. The work is scheduled to go on throughout the summer, finishing, it is hoped, in time for the Marlin's Tides Festival in September. On the Thursday night of the second week, the marine lake flooded due to an expected high tide of just over 12 metres. As the sluice was not closed, the water immediately started to flow out again. Meanwhile, back at the construction site on Salthouse Field, the temporary roadway that they started last week has now been finished, as have the foundations for the sloping section from the promenade down to the lake. That will become the launching place for those floating boats into the water. The water in the wake didn't deter one digger driver from starting the work of realigning the lower pathway. Ultimately, this pathway will be resurfaced to make it safer. In 1929, when the lake was built, there was a clubhouse built on stilts, long since demolished, but the stilts remain. The yellow painted instructions indicate to workmen that the structure is to be demolished. This will make way for a long ramp that will give disabled access to the swimming area for the first time in the lake's history. Clevedon News plans to film regular updates as the weeks go on, so please watch out for us. The motor vessel Balmoral is on the move again. This time she was sailing up to Sharpness to enter dry dock for her annual checkup and to have her bottom painted. The journey through Bristol's floating harbour and then down the River Avon passing under the Clifton Suspension Bridge is always worth a photograph or two. Unfortunately, Balmoral's promised passing of Clevedon Pier had to be cancelled due to legal reasons, but she did manage a short trip towards Portishead's Black Nor lighthouse before setting sail up the River Severn to Sharpness and the dry dock that awaited her. We are pleased to report that the Balmoral is still on course to tie up at our pier this coming June, and on this occasion she will load up with passengers for a day trip down the Channel.
Okay, we ready? Let's go! That's better.
A brand new musical written by local writer Paul Carroll, telling the sometimes stormy story of Clevedon's own Victorian pier. It will be staging its premiere here at the Prince's Hall at the end of April.
Far too nice to be inside and out of sight.
The promenade is full of folk who love to stride and laugh and joke. What a beautiful day, into the purple sky, to be outside a wonderful Saturday night.
Fisherman! Day like this is really nice. We reach all day and drink the fight. So let's cast off and cry so
It's about Clevedon Pier, loosely, a bit better than loosely. It's based on the past, the present, and the possible future of Clevedon Pier. But it's worth saying that the trustees of the Pier and Linda Strong, the Pier mistress, are all behind this musical. I wrote it before I asked them, but they liked it anyway, so that's good, we're all on the same page. The musical has 3 different eras. It starts in the Victorian age, when the Pier originally gets built. And the history books tell you that the place was cluttered up, all the seafront was completely cluttered up with materials. So I've got all the Victorians excited about a pier getting built, and then by the time it does get built, they're fed up of being all the clutter and all the rest of it. They just wanted to can you get this mess out of the way and get on with it? So there's lots of comedy and humour. It's very light, this show. And then you jump forward to 1970, and 2 glam rock teenagers and their friends witness the collapse of the pier while they're doing a sort of a faux T-Rex number, which was around at the time, which I've written based on Mark Bolan's sort of style. And it's worth saying, by the way, back in the Victorian age, I've tried to copy some Gilbert and Sullivan style for the music, just a homage, really, best I could do. And then in the future, rising sea levels and global warming have caused the ice caps to melt, and the levels have really gone up. And the pier is actually underneath the sea. It's 33 metres below sea level, and the only way you can see it is to dive down to it. So to celebrate the pier's 500th anniversary, the people of the time decide to resurrect an old thing that their ancestors liked called television. They're not sure what it is or how it works, so there's lots of mistakes in it. And then they have this thing called holographic experience, which is my little Digger HD, really, where you can sort of visualise and see the actual dive down to the depths. But lots of things go wrong. It's very tongue-in-cheek, and it's light, musical and tuneful, and lots of chorus work.
The cast has been drawn from local performing groups, including the Clevedon Light Opera Club. The show also features Paul's wife, Jane Gilchrist, international opera singer and the winner of Channel 4's Opportunity back in 2003. We asked Paul if this was the first show he had written.
It's the first thing I've written, yes. I have been involved in amateur dramatics for a very long time. I've produced over 25 shows over the time, and my wife's been in many shows as well, far more than that, probably 40 or 50, but she's also had a sort of a professional career on the back of Opportunity a few years ago. So we decided we wanted to do something, and it evolved into me writing this musical. I mean, it's based on an idea I had for a musical short as far ago as 1999. But I got resurrected it to write it into what I thought would still be a musical short, but as I started writing the music and the dialogue and creating the characters, it just seemed to grow and grow and grow, and before I know it, 8 months later I had a musical in my hands. So I wanted to perform it, and it's taken quite a while to put it on. It's taken about 15, 16 months from the end of writing it to opening the curtain on the first night, so it's been quite a journey.
I've just been told that the captain has reported a storm is moving in very rapidly, and the crew are going to batten down the hatches to make the boat safe.
The storm is coming. The storm is coming. The storm is coming. The storm is coming. On the sail, rowing, sing, and down, come to me. As the height of the waves wash over me, I'm safe on the safest boat. On the sail, rowing, sing, and down, come to me. As the height of the waves wash